Hi, I'm James Knott, and this is the Better Beer Authority. It's quickly becoming your home of the blind taste test because you guys seem to love it. Now, this beer was sent to us by the brewery, but these guys don't know what it is. So it's completely unbiased by the fact that this was given to us. Thank you to the brewery for sending it to us.
Nope.
Mark?
Yes, sir.
What are your initial impressions on the aroma?
It is definitely very hoppy, and not just, you know, oh wow, that's a hoppy IPA kind of hoppy. It's got a very abrasive almost amount of hops. It really hits up front. There is some fruit back to it, but it's mostly just a punch of hops. Very much so.
Joby?
Like paint thinner strong.
Okay, Joby, do you even wager a guess on the number of IBUs on this one?
No.
130.
130?
105.
105. That's a very specific number.
Yeah, I like to be specific.
You want to wager a guess on the ABV, Mark, while we're at it?
I'm gonna bet 9.2.
9.2. It sounds like you have one in mind, but we'll get back to that. What flavor notes are you pulling out, Joby?
You know, I think the taste and the nose on this beer is different. I mean, like Mark was saying, there's a lot. It's almost like you're sticking your nose in a bag of hops that we were talking about earlier. But I think, for me, the taste is a little more mellow than that. It doesn't like come up and punch in the face and say, I'm here, I'm hops, I'm here to stay. It's just kind of like...
There's not a strong hop bitterness.
Right, it's not bitterness. So I think it's a well-balanced beer. So, you know, they might have shit ton of hops in there, but you know,
we don't say that on this show.
They might have a
crap ton
of hops in there, but you know, the malt is balancing it out, so it doesn't, you know, come off as like really super bitter.
Scott, I'm getting a bit of like a alcohol flavor when I'm drinking it. Are you getting a crap ton of alcohol?
No, not even a shit ton. I feel like it's balanced. I feel like it's just the right malt, just the right hop. Has a great nose to it. For me, this mixes a couple of different breweries in mind. I have no idea what this is. I don't know which brewery it's from, but I feel like it could be a Founders, could be a Stone, could be a mix of the two, because that's what I think of when I drink this beer. I think of, because it has that, it doesn't have that Dogfish Head kind of snap of, you know, the hops and the smoothness, and this is just, it's a good beer. I really like it.
Mark, you had a very specific number in mind. Do you want to wager a guess before we reveal it?
No.
You're afraid?
It's not that I'm afraid. I'm just, I don't even want to say that I'm confident. This beer tastes very familiar to me, and only because I feel like I've had several of the style, but I definitely am not tuned enough to be able to say, well, because of this and this, it's probably from that brewery and not this one.
Yeah, well, I would think it'd be very unlikely that you could just pick from the sky a single beer. And...
I've done it before, but I'm not saying I'm doing it right here today. My initial thought was that it was a Sierra Nevada Bigfoot, probably from 2010 or 11.
Okay.
That was my first guess when I tasted the beer.
Okay, well,
but
I was only asking because you got really close on the ABV. This beer is an imperial IPA with 9.1% ABV and 103 IBUs. It comes.
Wow!
It comes in a 4-pack.
Wait, I said 9%.
Of 12-ounce cans.
12-ounce cans.
So is this from Six Point by any chance?
That's what I was going to say.
So, do you have a rating?
Must be crispin.
You know, I'd be pretty comfortable actually giving this beer an 8, and for a couple of reasons. I think the beer up front is actually really good, and for a lot of the reasons I said before, the actual presentation, and even now, this beer has changed a lot from 10 minutes ago to now. It's really starting to warm up and kind of soften up a little bit, and I don't know that in a can how well this beer would age, but I would imagine that it could probably stick around for a little while. So that's just me kind of kicking that idea out there. I could be dead wrong because I've never aged a beer in a can before, so I don't really know. But I think for several reasons, most of them I already said, so I'm not going to piggyback on them. It's a good beer. It's an 8 for me.
Joby, what about your rating?
I'm going back and forth between a 7 and 8, James. Let me tell you why. It's almost too much ABV for me. I mean, it's a great beer, an imperial, what was it, an imperial IPA? Yeah, I mean, great balance. I mean, as it warms up for me, he said it softens. I think as it warms up, in my mind, you almost get the alcohol taste more. Like
it is certainly a boozy beer.
Yeah, but I wasn't really getting that, once you handed us the glass, right after it was first poured. So for me, it's almost, warms up. It almost has a more alcohol warming effect to you. So for me, I think it's a well-balanced beer. It doesn't really taste over-alcoholic. So I'm going to go with a 7.
Scott, what's your rating?
I give it an 8. I really like it. I think it hits the nail on the head. It's balanced. It's what I expected out of the beer. I thought it was a triple IPA or an imperial IPA. I was thinking it was around 9%, and it kind of hit right on there. So I think they've done their job of masking the alcohol a little bit. I mean, I don't really want to drink a beer and taste just alcohol. I want to have that hop kind of jump out at you as well to balance it. But I really like beers that are on the stronger side. So this one for me is, done well.
Well, should I reveal the beer?
I think it's 6 Point as well.
Did you guys peek into the fridge?
No. But I kept saying Crispin, but I meant Resin. I don't know why I flip-flopped. Yeah. It's a good beer.
All right, it's Resin from Six Point Brewery. This beer was sent to us by Six Point Brewery in Brooklyn, New York, which was founded in 2004 by Shane C. Welch. They recently started distributing in Ohio with their full lineup of core beers and seasonals. Out of the regular lineup, Resin has the highest ABV and IBUs. Resins are part of the hops that cause the bitterness in beer, and this brew was designed to celebrate that. Serve it in a snifter, tulip, or oversized wine glass. Do you feel like this celebrates the resins of the hop?
This is different, and it kind of threw me off. Because at first, this was screaming barley wine. And I don't want to say I feel like an idiot. I think I can...
No, I could see how you might think Bigfoot on this one.
Well, it started so bold and such a strong hop character to it that I just never would have guessed that it was any kind of IPA just because of how, like I said, how abrasive the hops were. That's just crazy, but neat.
Being an imperial IPA, if you would have told me that, I would have looked for something that's more hop forward and like really, bust your chops with the hops. But this doesn't. It's very nicely balanced. And again, the blind taste test probably lowered my rating because again, I'm kind of a can guy, old school guy. So if I saw this out of a can, a skinny can at that, I mean, I probably would have given it a higher rating just on the packaging alone.
Scott, what are your thoughts on this?
No, I'm almost embarrassed that I didn't know what the beer was because I had one of these on Friday before I left work. I have a 4-pack of this sitting in my fridge at work. So I've had 6 Point several times, and I've purchased this maybe 2 or 3 times now. Great beer. They have a couple of others that I've tried as well. That
Sweet
I enjoy.
Action is good.
Well, I think that goes to the power of the blind taste test. I mean, you go into a beer with a preconceived notion. I mean, when you don't know what the beer is and you're just grasping at straws, I mean, you're really like focusing on the essence.
Who actually
of the beer.
Grasps at straws? I just don't understand that.
I do it all the time.
Yeah. No, I knew. I mean, when you said can, I was thinking green can. I said Crispin because I'm thinking green apple. I don't know why. But I knew that this is exactly what it was when
For
you
me,
said can.
this is kind of a bizarre experience, though, because I knew what the beer was, but this is completely different than what I expected. Way boozier. And I almost got like a marshmallow flavor to it. And is anybody getting something like that?
I can see that. I can definitely see that. Not when I first tried it, but now. No. Like I said, the last 10, 15 minutes, this beer has changed a lot. It's got almost, I don't want to sound fruity and say that the bouquet is kind of opened up, but it really kind of seems that way. The beer's opened up a lot more.
All right, Resin from Six Point Brewery gets a 7.7 on the BDA scale. That's what we think. What do you think? Have you had this beer? It's new to Ohio, so if you're in Ohio, go out and buy it. Try it for yourself. I'm James Knott, and this is your Better Beer Authority.
Better Beer Authority, Better Beer Authority, Better Beer Authority.